what we're going to be talking about today, relationships. There's so many different relationships we have in our lives. So from the romantic to the friendships to the family to, business relationships. But what I want to talk about today is, romantic, having a happy romantic relationship. Now, as always, I will put myself out there and tell you how my relationships used to be and how they have become now. Okay. I used to think that my husband was meant to be my everything: air conditioner, fan, house, bed, duvet, blanket, everything, right? And I used to think that he was also my knight in shining armor, and he will meet all my needs and all my expectations. At least that's what Mills and Boons told us. Do you remember those books or all those romantic novels and songs? I can't live without you. I can't breathe without you. Because of you, my life is incomplete. Marriage is two incomplete people becoming all kinds of things. And so for me, I feel like I was hugely misled by expecting certain things to go a particular way. And so when those things didn't go that way in the beginning of my marriage, I was completely finished. I lost my self-esteem, my confidence, my joy, because also I thought my husband was meant to make me happy. Now, it's a lie. Your happiness is your responsibility. When I found that out, oh my goodness, things changed for me. So when I found out that my joy was my responsibility, and the more I give it to other people, the more I depended on other people for my source of joy, the more I was also giving them the polar opposite, which is sadness. Because the days that they don't make me happy, what happens to me? When I learned this, things changed for me completely. And so, this is what I'm going to say. For you to have a happy relationship, you first need to be happy. Marriage or relationship is not a happy fire. Whatever or whoever you go into any relationship as is who will be heightened and what will come back to you. So when people say, oh, I've written a list of the kind of person I want to be with, whether a man or a woman, and they say tall, dark, and handsome, nice, rich, this, that, my first question I always ask people is, are you all these things? Because if you are not it, you cannot attract it. Whatever you are is who you would attract. So if you are a bruised and battered and needy and clingy and a people pleaser, that's what you're going to attract. Now, who is going to be giving to who is the question. So everything that you need from anybody, you first need to give yourself. Because when you give yourself, you will need it less from anybody else. And you know what I also learned? You don't need anything from anybody. You are self-sufficient. But they didn't teach us that. I didn't know that. I was depending on other people for all the things that gave me joy. So like I said, the first thing is to have a happy relationship, you need to be happy. And then you can have a happy relationship. Now, I also know that people say, oh, it takes two for a relationship to work. As much as I can agree to what they're saying, I also have a little bit of challenge with it, because I personally think that it takes one person. If I decide to change, the way I see things, the way I think, the way I behave, it's like when people say marriage is tough or marriage is a problem. I say no, marriage is perfect. The people in it is what causes the trouble. So when you fix the people, then you see that marriage is not as terrible as you think it is. And we're right now in an era where marriages are breaking up after some days, some months, a couple of years. Some people have been together 20 years and then all of a sudden they don't want to be together anymore. Now, I'm not here to advocate whether you should stay in your marriage or leave your marriage, or stay in your relationship or leave your relationship. All I'm saying is this: for any relationship to thrive, you must first bring that thing that you desire in that relationship. So your happiness, your responsibility; your joy, your responsibility. Now, let's take it to another level. People talk about love languages. And as much as I respect that, my love language, I'll say, is touch and then spend time with me. But I used to hold on to these things so much that it also deprived me of my joy. That so if he didn't touch me, and it doesn't have to be touch intimately, it could just be a touch on my face, or touch on my shoulders, or touch on my legs, and all those things. Just that touch, that close proximity, and of course spending time with me. Those were the things that I felt were my love languages. But one day I sat and I said to myself, and I asked, and I talk to myself all the time. I ask myself, I question myself, question my beliefs, question my values, question my behaviors, because that also helps you grow. So I started asking myself, okay, so if he doesn't touch me, does that then mean he doesn't love me? If he doesn't spend time with me, does that mean he doesn't love me? Okay, rather than waiting for him to touch me and spend time with me, how can I give these two things to myself first? Spend time with myself. Now, a lot of us don't know how to spend time with ourselves. We're always waiting for someone else to make us laugh, someone else to make us happy, someone else to give to us, right? My question once again is, if you do not like your company, why should anybody else like it? And I was a strong not liking my company. In fact, I had a nickname called Kajorin in Yoruba, which is let us work together, let us be together. I always wanted to be with people. My source of joy only came from when I was with people. And maybe I took that from my dad, I'm not sure. But I always wanted to be with people. And then as an entertainer, I'm also always around people. But then I also realized that I didn't like my company. I didn't know how to depend on myself for the comfort and the companionship that I needed. So I had to learn it. I had to learn how to spend time with myself and enjoy my time with myself. Not just spend time, but enjoy it and create activities of that I could do with myself. So that's another thing you also need to do as well. Give yourself the things you need. And now sometimes you need to pull me out of my space, because I've now gotten so used to giving myself the things that I need that I needed less from other people. The other thing was, I said, touch. I can touch myself. I realized that. I can stand in front of the mirror and touch myself and speak to myself. I mean, I can hug myself. So if I needed a touch, or I've got kids, I could hug them, or hug people. It didn't have to come from one particular person anymore. So I took that pressure off him for making me happy. I took the pressure off him for touching me. I took the pressure off him for spending time with me, because now I can give myself those things. What did those things do? It took the pressure off him, but it also took the pressure off me. And guess what? I still got my needs, and still get, because it's not just in the past, till now, I still get my needs met. Look at me here, spending time with you. This is companionship. This is spending time, quality time. So for me, to have a healthy relationship, I've told you, and a happy relationship, you first need to be happy. Two halves don't make one full whole. Two wholes make one whole, not two halves. Because if you're half and you're half, by the time I pour my half into yours, you're empty. And if I decide not to pour half, I only pour a quarter of what I have in yours, you're still not full. So why not make yourself full first in a relationship? Before you even enter a relationship, what are the things that make you happy? Start to learn how to give yourself those things. Oh, you should see me right now and the way I exude happiness and exude joy, because I can give it to myself. I know how to give it to myself. I know how to tend to my needs. I know how to tend to my desires. I know how to fill my cup up to overflowing and then give from my overflowing. My relationship with my husband now, let me tell you a secret. Let me share something with you. My husband went for a wedding. And at the wedding, I didn't go for the wedding with him, but it was a friend's wedding. And his friends were saying to him that, you look like you're getting younger. What's going on? And he said, the wife that I have gives me peace. The wife that I have is XYZ. He just described the kind of person that I was. And then he called me. Not only did he say to them, he called me and he said to me, look, I may not say this as much as I should, but you are my peace. That I can only fly because I have you with me. And as I say, it is warming my heart because all I could just do was, oh, you know, at some point in our lives, he could never say these words to me because even me, I knew I was not peaceful. There was so much turmoil in my heart. And the truth, you can only give what you have, and hurt people, and love people, love people. And so now I'm able to love him for who he is because I am full and overflowing. And so I don't depend on him for those things anymore. I don't depend on a lot. I don't depend on him for a lot of things. Now, does he do them now easily? Yes. Because I am now not forcing it out of him. He's doing them willingly because he believes now that there's some, I don't even ask for it. But naturally it's coming out of him because he knows that these are the things that will put a bigger smile on my face. I don't need them to exist. And so our relationship is so soothing right now. There's so much freedom, for him to thrive, for me to thrive. And we have such a phenomenal relationship. And you too can. But you first need to be happy. And so when you're happy, you will give from your happy place. But if you're not, you'll give from that place also. So start to tell yourself, I can give myself what I need. I can give myself what I desire. I can fill my own cup up and then give from there. Smile a bit more, okay? Love differently. Love freely and unconditionally. Not because you're expecting anything in return. Life is for giving. So go into relationships looking at what you can give rather than what you can get. And if you look at the fact that you can deposit love everywhere you go to, at least when you get there, you'll find the love that you deposited. And then others will add because love always wins. Okay? So this is my advice for you in getting a happy, loving relationship. I know that you're worth it and you can get it. Try what I've asked you to do and let's see where it takes you. Send me a message. I've also added a gift to this video today. I've added a gift. It's an abundance prayer. Abundance of everything, living in absolute abundance. So use it, try it out, listen to it for 21 days, 30 days at night in the morning. This is my gift to you, okay? Have a wonderful day.